Welcome to this complete beginner's guide to getting started with Adobe Express. My name's Darren, I'm an Adobe Express ambassador, and this video is sponsored by Adobe Express, but I get freedom to show you exactly how I use Adobe Express and move around Adobe Express. But this is the first episode of this beginner's guide. I'll put a link down below to each of the other episodes in this series. Also down in the description there will be a 30-day trial, but also I've put down there for you chapters for each of the episodes, so you can jump around the episodes and watch them as you want or as you need. But let's get in and get started showing you around Adobe Express. Now in this video I am going to assume that you're fairly new or brand new to Adobe Express. As I say, this is a beginner's guide, so we're going to start off on the home page and show you around. Up in the top left hand corner here we've got this little kind of like keypad that will open up this menu and allow you to actually jump to other items inside of Adobe Express. If you've got a Adobe Creative Cloud membership, you can jump between those easily enough. So I'm just going to close that at the moment. If you click on the logo at any point, that's going to bring you back to the home page. Next to the logo, we've got this new AI Assistant beta. Now, if we turn that on, that's going to allow us to then use the AI Assistant to talk to it about how we want to edit and change designs. You just come in here and give it a text prompt, and then you can just start designing it, asking it to do what you want it to do. I'm not going to run through that exactly today. I do have other videos on my channel about using this where you can actually make a design or actually edit an image. So we can just turn that off for now. I just want to let you know that that is available there. Next in here, we've got this how would you like to get started section. We can either start from an upload, we can click start a new design, edit photos, create video, and also turn on or off the AI assistant. And those are the options there that we've got here just in the middle. You can click on any of those to get started. If you click on the upload, it's going to ask you to upload your media from your desktop or something like that. If you click start a new design, it's going to ask you, let's click on start a new design. It's going to actually open up this menu, and I'm going to show you how we're going to get to this menu another way in a few moments. And also you can then choose to edit photos. That's going to open up and ask you to upload your photos, create video, and the AI assistant. But that's the section here. Then below that we do have some other things. We've got our recent files. These are files that you'll have been working on beforehand. We've got quick edits, we've got templates, other ways to create, we've got file formats, and also there is another section under here where you've got a lot of how-tos. Now you see where we clicked on this start a new design, there is another way to get to that menu, and that is by clicking on this blue button up in the top left hand corner here. Now this is going to open up our get started menu, and I'm going to guide you through and show you each area inside of here. We can either upload from our media, which is going to ask us to upload something from our desktop, or we can search for a particular kind of document that we want to start creating. We've got custom sizes, square sizes. We've got all our kind of like normal kind of like Instagram posts, stories, Instagram reels. We've got web pages that you can create in here, videos, posters. All of those good things are in here under the create section. Next, we're going to click on quick actions. Now under quick actions, this is another area where we can still access to upload our media, but we can create a presentation. We've got background remover, and as you hover over these, it'll actually show us the type of document that you can actually upload, whether it's a JPEG, PNG, or WebP file up to 40 megabytes. You can also on here create QR codes. You've got all sorts of other things like collage maker, clip maker. You've got the option to resize images, edit PDFs. And again, I'm not going to show you all of these, but we've got options to convert files, caption videos, convert to PDFs, all the good things in here. We've then got our AI options in here, which we're going to come on to in a future episodes. But that's the quick actions area. Next, we've got down the side here, we've got our social media ads. This is going to give us our options of each of these menus. We've got video, we've got photo, and each of these gives us those particular quick actions for the kind of like item that we're clicking on at the side here, whether that's document or generative AI. So you can see we've got actual submenus just for those, or you can click on all, and that's going to have all of your quick actions. So you can see all of those on there. Next down here, we've got import from other apps. Now this area here, we can import from other apps. We've got Adobe Acrobat or Google Drives, Microsoft PowerPoint. We've got our Adobe apps, so whether that's an Adobe Acrobat PDF file, Illustrator, Photoshop, or InDesign. Maybe your designer has given you a bunch of files that you want to be able to use in Adobe Express. You're going to be able to bring those Illustrator files, Photoshop files, or InDesign files directly into Adobe Express really easily. And you can also connect your online storage, whether that's Google, Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, all of those other items. And also there's another option here where you can actually import other files that you've got from other programs and things like that. So that's how you can import documents into Adobe Express from those other programs. Now back on the home page, there's one more area that I want to show you before we jump into episode 2, and that is your stuff. This is where you are going to have all of your documents, your files, and everything else like that. This is where you keep organized in here. So first of all, we've got all of our files. These are kind of like our uploads, our designs that we've got. This is everything that just sits there in one big file before we've actually put it in a folder. We've also got our uploads folders here. You can see we can actually add in folders here, so you can create a new folder. You can also, over the top right hand side here, you can choose to create a file or create a folder. You can choose to filter this by whether it's something you've been shared by somebody else or if it's recent. You can also choose to filter by the type of file. So if you've imported those other files from Photoshop, Illustrator, images, video or audio or Express files, you can just filter those there as well. And then you can choose to sort, and then you can choose to either have a list view, so it's something like this, or the grid view. My preference is the grid view because I like to see the visuals of these. And then on here we can see we've got all of our files, and these are ones where I've not kind of like put them in folders yet. Now we can create folders for our stuff on here and just simply put all of these in here. If we want to, we can see we've got the 3 dots here. You can just come down and you can choose to move this. That's going to actually have it to actually move it to a folder. So we can either, if we click on just files, you can see then that starts opening up those folders within inside the files area. We've also got projects, and within the projects folder, this is another area where we can then start sharing our documents. So I'm going to click cancel on that, and we're going to actually next have a look at the projects area. Now you can see here I've got multiple projects here. You can see some of these where I've got somebody else's face. Those are shared folders, so you can actually share files in these areas with a client. Maybe you want to share a project file with a team member or something else like that. You can create a project and add them as somebody that can then access those files. So both of you have access to the files. One of you will be a project owner and you can invite them to that. You just simply click on the project and you can click to leave, but you can also click on share, and that's where you can then start sharing that project file. As I say, the project files are a great way of actually collaborating. So you can see here on Better Content Creators where I've got different files in here where if I wanted to share these with somebody, I could actually start sharing them. You can see here we can add descriptions, members, you can add members in here. You can even have separate calendars for projects, and we will come on to that later, one of the later episodes where we look at start sharing our content, where we can actually start scheduling inside of Express using the calendar options. I think that's episode 7, so you'll keep an eye out for that one. But that's all of our project files. We've also got libraries. I'm not a big user of libraries, but you can start adding different documents into this. I tend to use my brand kits a little bit more than I do with libraries. And then also on here, we've got favorites. And this is where we've looked through templates, elements, or anything else like that that we've got that we can click on the little heart section. And I'm going to show you that when we start looking at the templates in episode 2. I think it's episode 2, might be episode 3. But we're going to start looking at how we can actually start favoriting those. But when you're in the home page here, you can start accessing these from the page. And if you want to open up any of these, you just click open and then click on customize the template. And that's going to allow you to then create your own version of that template. So if you've got a template that you want to use on a regular basis, heart it, add it to your favorites, and then you'll be able to easily find it under your stuff and under your favorites. And again, the same with photos or elements. I've added a few here where I've been kind of like testing this out. And also you've got these fun sticker options down here. But that's your stuff. That's the basics of getting started and showing you around the homepage. We've got a couple of other options down the side here. We're going to come on to that in episode 2. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like and all the rest of it. I've put all of the chapters and all of the options to sign up and follow along in this series down in the description for you. If you've got any questions so far, drop those down in the comments section as well, and hopefully you found this helpful. And until next time, thank you very much and bye for now.